Hey YouTube, how's everybody doing today? So in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how you can create a pad sound in Ableton using only stock plugins. Okay, so let's get right into it. First things first, I got a MIDI clip loaded up here, and I'm just going to drag in a wavetable synth. And it comes initialized as a sine wave. Wow, very cool. So we're going to change this to something a little bit more harmonic. You could totally make a pad with a sine wave if you wanted to. You can always feel free to experiment with the different waveforms that are out there, but we're going to go for something a little richer. And I'm going to go to the squarish wave here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the filter frequency for oscillator 1 down a little to make it a little more dark, right? So we're cutting some of the highs out now with this filter. I'm going to go into the amplitude envelope here, and basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust some of these settings down here. So this is attack, decay, sustain, and release. So if I increase the attack, the sound swells in instead of just coming in right away when I hit the key. Right? So this is something a little softer rather than a pluck like this. So we can adjust this to swell in. And let's mess with the decay a little. So the decay basically says, okay, how long does the amplitude of the sound take to get down to the sustained level? And we're at 584 milliseconds here. So let's go like this, click and drag. And let's go down to like, I don't know, something like this. So what we'll have right now, so if the sound swell in, it'll reach its peak volume, and then it's going to come down the decay here. And once it ends, it's going to sit at the sustained level of negative 11 dB. Right? So that's kind of an interesting thing to consider. The ADSR of the amp is something you'll want to mess around with a bit when you're constructing a pad. Okay, so now let's go into the matrix and take a look at the options that we have here. So this looks, maybe depending on how much experience you have with synthesis, a bit confusing, but it's pretty straightforward. So basically all this is it's saying here are the targets here, and these are the actual modifiers themselves, right? So whatever we decide to put in value wise here within these boxes, the modulation of these devices will affect these targets. So we'll go into LFO1 by clicking here. And basically, this is a low frequency oscillator. It's something that's not audible. It's below audio rate. And this is, we just have a sine wave loaded in, and it's playing at 1 Hertz, so fairly slow. And 100%, you have all these different settings here. So I can change this. I can make it a little faster. So then what I can do is I can go back into the matrix, and our target is the amplitude. And I'm going to say, I want that LFO that I just changed the rate of to modulate the amplitude of this sound. So now when I hit a key, you can hear the volume goes up and down relative to the speed of the LFO. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to keep it lower. I'm going to turn the amount down a little. And I'm going to turn the amount as well for the send down. So it's just a subtle thing that happens over time. So then let's go into here and let's mess with the pitch a little bit too. So we can go LFO2, we'll change this in a second, and we're going to go to the pitch of the overall sound. So that's a bit extreme once again. So we'll go in here, let's turn the rate down, and let's turn the amount down too. So now there's like a really subtle pitch modulation going on, right? And that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else can we do here? Let's turn the unison on. So basically this is just going to detune the synth, make the stereo image a little more interesting. You can adjust the amount down here and the amount of voices, so the amount of detunes, basically, the amount of signals that are out of phase slightly with each other to give that wide sound. We have 3 right now, we can go up. And of course, the higher you go, the richer the sound gets, but also the higher the usage is for your CPU. So let's go and adjust the amplitude again. And I am going to go into the LFO, the mod matrix, and let's see what's going on here. We can tell, how do we tell this to affect, oh, okay, envelope 2. Okay, let's see. Amp filter to frequency. Filter 1 frequency. So I guess, so if you double click on things, it seems like you can kind of assign them. So down here, I'm going to change the LFO to modulate this filter frequency as well. I'm going to bring the resonance up a little. It's a bit fast. Let's go LFO 2. So what am I talking about? That's even faster. Okay, let's go into the drive settings of the first filter and change it to have something that's a little more analogous to analog. You can bring the drive up to increase the character, add harmonics. Let's go with something like this. And I hope you guys are awake now. Okay, so let's see what we can do with some of these settings down here. Let's change the warping. Fold. Let's bring in a little bit of a low pass as well, just to cut some of the muddiness out of the sound. And we have this modulating right now, so we don't want that. Try boosting the resonance in the lower register. Let's go down an octave. So we're going to change the release as well, so that after I let go of the keys, that sound rings out a little bit longer. Right? And my CPU is getting destroyed right now. I'm going to bring the voices down a bit. Right, so now we're getting somewhere. My God, we are having troubles today. Okay, let's go down to 3, because it's obvious that this thing is fairly heavy on the CPU. And let's go into our effects here and see what we can do. So put an EQ in, see where we are on the actual spectrum. Go like that. And then why don't we put some chorus on it. Do I have chorus favorited? Probably not. Audio effects. And let's throw a little phaser on there too. Why not? Bring this down. Sorry about that, guys. kind of surprised that's happening actually. My computer doesn't like Wavetable. Jesus, Murphy, that's brutal. Okay, I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna change the rate. See if that helps. Okay, a little better. My voice is a bit laggy now, but that's okay. Okay, and let's go into our effects and let's put some delay on this. Why not? Let's try a filter delay. Left and right will have that more mid-range focused, and then the left and right, excuse me, headphones, we're gonna have some higher end going on here. Let's turn the volumes down. Cool, and then let's go for a reverb. Why not? Let's put in a reverb. Cut some of the lows. We're gonna go to high quality. Change the decay time because it's a pad. We want to make sure that's sounding ethereal. And dampen some of the lows. Highs too. Mess with the chorus a bit. Let's bring it up. Maybe decrease the size. Need some cool effects if you decide to modulate any of these parameters. And why not bring in a filter? Just to cut even more of the highs and make a really dark sounding pad. Okay, so I hope you guys learned something today. My apologies on the crackling. I'm surprised that my CPU couldn't handle Wavetable. I mean, it's definitely CPU intensive, but there's not that many voices running, so I'm gonna have to investigate. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know and I'll try to get to them. Thanks.